Oh, hi children. You've just caught me. I'm playing with Gracie's bricks. Gracie is our granddaughter. She's not quite 2 yet, but she loves it if I stack the bricks and then she can knock them down. So I've been practicing a bit because I'm not ever so good at it. And actually sometimes she's a bit rubbish, to be honest, because she'll knock them down when I've only put 2 together. It doesn't give me a chance to do anything big for her. I'll turn this down. Well, I've got a story for you this morning about somebody who was a builder. He's got a very strange name. He's called Nehemiah. I wonder if you can say it. Anyway, Nehemiah lived a long, long way away from his family. He'd gone for work. He'd done really, really well where he lived. And he was quite good at building things and looking after things. And the king of the country where he lived really liked Nehemiah and gave him lots of jobs to do. And he was very happy, except sometimes he felt a bit homesick. He missed, the things that were familiar. Walking down his street and seeing his mum and dad, I expect, and seeing his friends, and perhaps going down to the shops that he liked to go to. Anyway, one day he hears a message. He didn't have letters when Nehemiah was alive, from somebody else to say that his home city was in a terrible mess. He lived in a place called Jerusalem. Well, what he heard was that all the houses were falling down, the wood had gone rotten, and the walls around the city were all broken down. Now, we don't have walls around our cities, but they used to then. One of the main reasons was to keep invaders out who wanted to come in and nick things, but also to keep wild animals out. Well, as you can imagine, Nehemiah was really upset when he heard this. So he went to the king where he lived and told the king about it. And the king said, well, Nehemiah, you must go and help them. He even gave Nehemiah some wood and some bricks to take with him. So he made the long journey all the way back to Jerusalem, and it was just as bad as he had heard. But what was worse, really, was everybody was so upset and so fed up and so tired that they didn't want to do anything. And they couldn't really see how they could do anything. They just thought they had to put up with it being really, really rubbish. Well, Nehemiah said, you do not. And he was really firm with them. And he said, no, we can all do something. And do you know what happened? People who lived in one little house mended the little bits around their house. And then they helped their neighbours mend a bit by their house. And the man who did things with gold and precious stones said, well, I can build a bit of wall. Sometimes they got a bit despondent, and there were a few people who kept saying, oh, it's no good. In our family, we call them puddleglums, people who like to be a bit miserable. But they ignored all the puddleglums, and they kept going, and they kept building, and they kept working hard. And Nehemiah kept encouraging them and saying, yes, you can do it. Do you remember Bob the Builder? That used to say, we can do it. Well, that's what Nehemiah did. He said, yes, you can build this wall. And they worked, and they worked, and they worked. And eventually, the wall all around the city was mended. And all their homes were mended, and their roofs were mended, so the rain didn't come in. Everybody could be warm and cosy inside. What an amazing story. And I think it's good to hear stories like that because, well, I must say I felt a bit fed up when I thought I couldn't come and see you all again. But then Mrs. Shirley said, could you do a video? And I thought, yes, I can do that. So we really have to encourage each other when we're feeling a bit fed up and a bit, I can't quite manage. I've got a good game for you. With Gracie, who's not yet 2, you will remember, we just stack these like this. Just one on top of the other. That's all she can do at the moment. But I wonder if you could have a game in your classroom. See what you can find to stack. See how high you can do it. But there's a catch. You've got to do it with a blindfold. Perhaps you could have a competition. See who can get the highest. But don't forget, always encourage each other to do really well, to have a go and to keep going, because when we do things together, then they really work fantastically. As soon as it's okay, I can't wait to come and see you. Perhaps I'll come and have lunch with you and see you all in the playground, and I'll bring some flapjack for your teachers. I'll see you soon. Have a really good week at school and encourage each other every single day. Bye.